Hey folks, John with Complete Technology Solutions, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. I know you know what we're doing tonight, and I know you guys were waiting for it. Did you see the vote? Did you guys see the vote in the community section? This was in 1%, 1% between the S7 and the HTP 50 teardown. So, you know what the next two videos are. But I got some interesting news for you. Here we go. So guys, as you might imagine, I got back and my email box was flooded. Wall to wall, door to door, top to bottom. It took me hours to go through all this. The people who had the orders in there, you've already got your tracking numbers out there. All of those orders are going to go out tomorrow morning as promised. There was another one for a modified HDR 68 that will also go out tomorrow. But anybody else that has any orders that came in today, I will get back to you tomorrow. So everything is going out this week without a problem. But I just got an interesting email from Kurt over at Grimberg. As it turns out, yes, I know you guys have been asking me to get a gavel in here for the longest time. They actually have a revision, the new model of the gavel, and I have been chomping at the bit to get one of these gavels in here, and it looks like it might be happening here pretty quick, so stay tuned for that. But today, we are going to test the Sabre S7 Pepperball Launcher. Guys, this one has been on my radar even back before the Salt Supply and back before the TiPX. These guys market theirs specifically for a purpose. So, you know, like the TiPX is marketed as a paintball gun, and the Salt Supply is marketed as a self-defense weapon. These are only marketed as self-defense, and I think that's actually a pretty good idea, especially when you're talking about something that's this big. This is something you're not going to carry on a day-to-day basis. You're not going to carry it on your holster like RoboCop. Drop it! Although that would be actually pretty cool. No, never mind. But anyway, something that's going to sit at your house on your, on your end table or in your nightstand or something like that to defend. That's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we get. All right, so packaging. I love the packaging, guys. This is just a sleeve that goes over the top. But as you can see, it includes the weapon itself, as well as kinetic and practice rounds and some pepper balls. It looks like it also includes some CO2 cartridges, which is pretty cool too. They're standard 12 gram. So. All right, so let's slide off this and see what we get in the box. All right, check it out. Now, guys, if you look at that and you tell me that that doesn't look like what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like a safety weapon or a flare gun. Yeah, there you go, like a flare gun. Something that just screams at you when you pull it out. That's what this looks like to me. Now, looks like in the box you get the weapon itself. You do get one red pepper powder. Now, guys, that is 5% capsaicin. Honestly, I wouldn't use that. I mean, yeah, I would probably use it, but if you don't have a good mixture of OC and Pava, I probably wouldn't use it for self-defense. So you really want the nastiest stuff you can get your hands on. But it'll work for now. In the box, we also get some inert training, which we will be firing. And it looks like you get 2 of those. So that's actually 10 of the inert training balls. And guys, if you've checked these, they're heavy, by the way. I'm going to weigh these in just a second. If you've checked these, the 68 caliber inert training balls are not cheap. So it's kind of cool that they actually included a couple of those in the box. You do get 2 12-gram CO2 cartridges. That's about as generic as they get. Looks like you get a cleaning squeegee and an Allen key. Actually get 2 Allen keys along with some grease. So you've got some basic maintenance. Actually, look, I have 3 Allen keys. And, oh, look at this. And an O-ring. Look at that. Almost missed that one. So you do get some basic maintenance stuff in here, which is pretty cool, too. And here's the weapon itself. Okay. First thing I'm noticing, guys. Orange, black, gold. That's a strange combination, right? Orange, black, and gold. But it looks kind of cool. So you've got the same loading mechanism that you do on the Salt Supply and the TiPX. And showing Stumpy here, this is where your CO2 is going to go. You're going to unscrew this, pull that out, unscrew it one more time, and pull it forward. Guys, that seal is tighter than any of the other ones that we've actually tested. It felt like it was actually in there. And if you look and how that's notched out in there, and I'll try to get a view of that. You can kind of see why. So you have a down, an in, a down, and an in. It's kind of like a Z pattern in there. So you will put your CO2 cartridge in, nozzle down, and then you will cap it. On your magazine, you've got, guys, I just noticed something really interesting. We'll get back to that. Hold on a minute. So your magazine is a standard 7-round magazine. And when I turned this over, look at that logo. That's Sabre. That is awfully close to the Salt Supply logo. I'm just saying it looks awfully close to the Salt Supply logo. Yeah, well, okay, look. We know that all of these were modeled after the same weapon. There's no question of that. Just rebranded. Odds are they're probably made in the same plant somewhere and then rebranded to whatever the manufacturer is. So, but I just find that particularly interesting. I just, that catches me. So, you've got a safety mechanism right here. Push to save, push to fire, and that's pretty much all there is to it. These magazines are universal, and I mean universal between the TiPX, the Salt Supply, all of them are universal with this. God, it's orange. It's just so bright. You know what I mean? But all right, but they're universal, so any of the magazines will work with all three of these, which is actually pretty cool. So I tell you what, we are not going to adjust the velocity on this yet. We want to test it out of the box. So let's go ahead. We're going to get this loaded up. To test this, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to use their inert rounds because that'll give us a good stable idea of exactly what we're going to get out of this. So I want to weigh these and see what we're actually getting out of them. There we go. You know, I'm betting maybe 3 grams. It feels like 3 grams. Let me weigh this, guys. We'll look at it together here. All right. Let's get zeroed out here. There we go. 3.1 grams. That is a very heavy pepper ball. I'm just going to say, you know what? In fact, let's weigh the pepper balls. So 3.1 grams. We need to keep that in mind when we're doing our velocity tests. The pepper balls weigh 3.3 grams. So the inerts are actually heavier than the pepper balls. I find that kind of interesting. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to take out our inerts. And let's get them loaded into our magazine here. There we go. And it's pretty simple, guys. Just push in from the top. Very easy to do this. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that's fully loaded. All 7 rounds. All right. Slide it into. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our CO2 in. All right. So we're going to undo this, pull out, undo, pull out. And we're going to use a 12-gram Valken cartridge. I'm not going to use any of the oil on this one because of the way it punctures. Once it's punctured, that pressure just blows out. It's not like this is being held down against it. So, all right, nozzle down and slide this in there. Twist and down and twist and lock in place. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to move out onto the range. I want to see how this actually fires. I'm going to guess mid to the high 3s. What do you guys think? I have no idea. I haven't shot it yet. Mid to high 3s on 3 point, what was it? 3 point, whatever it was, grams. We'll see. Here we go. All right, guys. So we're set up on our range down here. Once again, we are not going for accuracy on this round. The head-to-head, when we put all these together, that's when we're shooting for accuracy. And you better believe we're going to do a long shot. I'm going to shoot from a long way away and see what kind of accuracy we're getting out of them. But for right now, we just want to get a good reading on this and see what we can get. So we're going to shoot Mr. Zombie down there. And Mr. Zombie is going to catch some pepper balls. All right. And glasses on. All right. Okay, here we go, guys. So we're going to go to fire. Now, the first time you pull the trigger, it should engage the CO2. Hear that click? Now we're engaged. Now here we go. I'm going to try to get us a good reading right over the top. Bear with me. 329. 320. Boy, look at that powder, guys. 324. All right, I'm going to aim higher. I may not get a reading, but I'm going to go for his head. 301. 320. 331. And 325. Glass off. All right, guys, number one, and I know that everybody was watching this. those numbers were very consistent. So we were in that 310 to 320-ish range, right in there. And when I started aiming for his head, every shot hit almost the exact same spot. We were nailing his head without a problem. And incidentally, for where we're shooting, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, so we are at 30 feet behind the camera here. So at 30 feet, it was dead on accurate. Guys, that's impressive, and that is without making any adjustments to the velocity, which can be made right there. So very impressive. Tell you what, let's move back in here. There's something else I noticed about this that I really like. So let's go talk. Here we go. So guys, what do we think about the Sabre S7? All right, quick joule calculation. All right, if we're firing in that 320 feet per second range on a 3.1 give or take gram ball, it's firing at about 15 joules out of the box, unmodified. So that means no turning up the dial, no cranking it up or anything else like that. 15 joules out of the box. That is impressive. But what really impressed me about this one, and I don't know if it's a bias thing, that trigger is so smooth. And I'm talking about like glass smooth. When you pull it, in fact, I would bet, we're going to test that real quick because I have a feeling that this trigger is probably under 4 pounds. So hang on one second. And just like that, we have our handy dandy trigger gauge. So let's check this out. Now, what I did, guys, when we fired those rounds, those 7 rounds, the CO2 that is still in here, I did not expel the rest of the round. So as you can see, we'll drop the magazine. It is totally empty. We do not have one up in the chamber. It is an empty launcher right now, okay? So what we want to do is, let's go ahead and take our trigger gauge, and we're going to see what we get out of this right now. This feels so light. Hang on. Guys, 2 pounds. Let me reset that. Pulling it again. 3 pounds. I told you. 2 pounds. Guys, 2 and 3 pounds per pull. Okay, so what was that? 3? We had 7. That's 10. We're just going to fire it. 11. So I'd say you're probably going to get about 12 shots. 12 shots out of a CO2. Given how strong that is, that's not that surprising. You see you're totally out at that point. That's actually pretty impressive, guys. And the fact that that trigger, I told you that felt light. That is so unbelievably light. It really is. Of the 3 so far, I got to say that trigger is my favorite. So, yeah. But when we put them head to head, we'll see what we can do for accuracy because I am very curious about that. Couple of announcements for you. To all of my guys who go to my other channel, our first gameplay video is happening tomorrow. Yes, it's a horror game. No, you may not make fun of me. Okay, maybe you can make fun of me a little bit, but just a little bit, not a lot, because that's not nice. Yeah. But tomorrow. So tomorrow night, you're going to have a gameplay drop. The HDP 50, I have got to do mods on 10 HDP 50s and 10 TR50s and 5 HDR 68s this week, all of them. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to do the teardown video on the HDP 50 probably tomorrow, and then post that video on Tuesday. And I'm going to go all the way down to the nuts and bolts like we did on the 68. A lot of people really needed that video, and it helped them out quite a bit, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So if you've never watched my silly gaming videos or my other channel, I'll drop a link down there in the description. I'll throw one up here. Go check out the channel. You'll get a kick out of it. Have a great week, guys. I have a lot of stuff coming. I am back from vacation and raring to go. We'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.